An important point, I think, is to never mistake story structure for formula. Structure is like a writer gets out of bed in the morning, goes into the kitchen, hungry, maybe thirsty, opens the refrigerator. That refrigerator is structure. It holds whatever you want. It has movable shelves, drawers. It doesn't dictate what sorts of food we pile on those shelves. It just waits and helps us organize it. That's what story structure does. It helps a writer organize his pieces of thought so they make sense. So now the writer sits down and with this vague idea of hammer, just a word, but feels he can work with it. It's a tool for striking, yes, but it's also a name, isn't it? The private detective created by Mickey Spillane was named Mike Hammer. It's also the business part of a gun. It's an auctioneer's mallet. It's a noun and a verb. To hammer, meaning to pound something, or in past tense, hammered. To be hammered is to be drunk out of our skull. Or you can hammer out a contract. You might be hammered by rain or sleet or wind. A writer on deadline is said to be under the hammer. So the writer puts all of these ideas on a story shelf marked hammer. But an idea isn't a story, is it? One important shelf in story structure is marked hero. Every good story needs a hero. He or she may not even be a hero yet, but it's coming as the story unfolds. So now the writer wonders, who is this hero? How does he or she connect with hammer? And the writer's itching to write, fingers on the pencil or on the keyboard. He lays down a basic description maybe, not great, but okay. Or maybe a fascinating hero jumps to mind. Or maybe it's just good raw bones, but no flesh. At this point, anything that gets the writer putting words on the page is wonderful. After all, nothing is chiseled in stone, right? A pencil has an eraser, a keyboard has a delete key. As story consultant Michael Haig says, don't get it right, get it written. Often the very best writing is thrown down fresh and raw. Only then can we edit the work until it shines. So now our writer has a roughly drawn hero and he's got that vague idea, hammer, and he sits staring at the page. How do these fit together? Another shelf, fortunately, in story structure is marked goal. Every hero has a goal, right? A mission, a quest, or a problem to solve. Just as every person has a goal, even if it's just getting out of bed and getting through the day. Will this be a big, ambitious goal like saving the world from destruction by a giant meteor? Now that would be the ultimate hammer, wouldn't it? Or maybe it's a smaller goal, not quite so worthy, like jackhammering through a concrete floor to rob a bank. Once again, the writer starts putting down words. He's got the hero, that's the who of the story. He's got this vague idea of a goal, that's the what of the story. Now he starts working on the how and the why, and words fly from his fingertips. But there's one very important shelf yet to be filled. And until that shelf is filled, there's no story. It's labeled conflict. This is the point where writers, especially those doing personal essays or writing about someone they know, often wince and begin crawfishing. Why must there be conflict, they want to know. Isn't it tension that keeps the readers turning pages? Well, sure, but it's conflict that creates tension. And without conflict, there simply is no story. Let's say our writer allows the hero, who just wants to get through the day, to have a good breakfast, sail through his work schedule with no hitches, enjoy a wonderful family dinner, sit down and watch a couple of hours of exciting television, his favorite shows perhaps, and then settle down for a good night's sleep. Ah, he says, I made it. Yes, he achieved the goal. But so what? It's boring. Every interesting character, real or imagined, faces conflict. It's part of life. Story actually begins when a hero encounters the first obstacle preventing him from getting what he wants and seeks a way to overcome it. So, creating conflict is the most important part of writing a story. That doesn't even matter whether it's a true story or completely fictional. Conflict is key. And in most cases, the bigger the obstacles, the better the story. Yet a good writer